Hey! Alright, y'all, so today I'm going to review two of the absolute cutest stories I have read in a super long time. They are contemporary fiction, so for once it's not sci-fi and it's not crazy, it's realistic, it can happen in the real world, it's legit. So first, did y'all know that there isn't a pause button on the photo booth app on a MacBook? So I was planning on pausing so that this wasn't so awkward, but there's no pause. So whatever, you're gonna have to just go. All right, so the first book I'm going to review is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Y'all, look how pretty this is. And it is a library book. I checked it out from the public library for once. I didn't take it from my library. It is beautiful. There's an actual legit YouTube video on how they made this cover. And it's amazing. And the actual book itself is purple. And I can't take this off with this library book, but it's purple. It's so pretty. I met Nicola Yoon at TLA at the Texas Tea, and she is the sweetest, most down-to-earth person I've ever met. We both fangirled over the fact that Beyonce is dang, I cannot say it. Beyonce's song is in the Everything Everything trailer, and Everything came out at the movies last week, and I saw it on Thursday night, and it was fan-freaking-tastic. It was perfect, went right along with the book, super cute. So, Everything, super cute. Go watch it. Now. Okay, so, The Sun is Also a Star. Okay. I loved it because it is two completely different people, and it's told from both of their points of views, and it is just beautiful. So The Sun is Also a Star is about how everybody is connected some way or another, and Nicola Yoon does an amazing job of that. So The Sun is Also a Star is about Natasha and Daniel. Natasha is a Jamaican American. She was born in Jamaica, and she is an undocumented immigrant in New York. She has a big poofy fro, and she totally embraces that she's black or Jamaican, and she does not really have a Jamaican accent. And I think she's 17. She is about to be, or she's a senior in high school, and she is at that point in her life where she's thinking about college. And I'm going to put this right here. So she's thinking about college, but it's not like, to her, it's not going to happen because the book fell. So it's not going to happen because in The Sun is Also a Star, the entire story takes place in 24 hours. Yeah. Okay, so she's not going to go to college because she's being deported. Today. That's my dog's tail. Today. So she's having the absolute worst day of her life. She obviously does not want to be deported. So she has decided to take this into her own hands, and she is going to go to the immigration office and find a way to not get deported because it's Natasha, her brother, her mom, and her dad. And she kind of blames everything on her dad because her dad came to America to be an actor in New York on Broadway. And Natasha even admits it. Her dad is amazing. He completely belongs on stage. But he can't get roles to pay for them to get a house. And so Natasha and her brother and her mom and dad live in a one-bedroom apartment, and Natasha and her brother share the living room as their bedroom. So Natasha knows the struggle. And so one night her dad gets a DUI, and he tells the cop his entire life story, including being an undocumented immigrant. And of course it gets reported, and so now they're being deported. Daniel, what happened? I don't know what just happened with the webcam. Anyway, Daniel is a 17-year-old Korean-American boy who is about to go on an interview to it's a Yale admittance interview with an alumni. Well, it just so happens that while Natasha is on her way to meet a lawyer who is going to help her not be deported, that same lawyer is the Yale alum that Daniel is going to go interview with. And there's these really cool just little snippets, and I'm going to show you. Like, you get the history of Daniel's dad, and then you get some little snippets about family, and you learn things like the word Erie, which is Jamaican for, like, it's all good. And then, of course, there's Natasha's chapter, and then you learn about Irene. And Irene she's not a huge character, like, she's someone you would overlook, but she has a huge impact on Natasha. And so you start to notice how these tiny little things add up to this big thing happening. And it was awesome. And like, again, these little snippets, like it goes Natasha, Daniel, Natasha, Daniel. You meet Hannah Winter and Jeremy Fitzgerald. And Jeremy is the attorney, the lawyer. Hannah is someone who's in love with him. So I really hope that you get to read this, because it's not just one love story, it's a bunch of love stories. And I'm not the love story reader, but I loved it. It was fantastic. And so Natasha doesn't believe in love. She's not someone who believes in love. She believes in science. She wants to be a data analyst when she grows up. And Daniel is a poet. So try and put that together. And when Daniel meets Natasha, he decides she is going to fall in love with him that day because he's already in love with her. And he wants to go through all these questions. And based on an article about if you sit with someone and you go through 30 questions that get more intimate as you continue down the questions, and then you stare into someone's eyes for 4 minutes straight, you'll fall in love with them. So Daniel is set, and he's like, this is what we're going to do, and you're going to be in love with me. And Natasha is like, no, I'm not. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in any of that. And she slowly comes around to the fact that love is a thing. And Daniel helps her realize where love is in the universe and what role it plays. It was so freaking cool, you guys. Go read it right now. Right now. The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Right now. So cute. There's like 3 or 4 different love stories going on. And then you kind of just see how the universe just brings everything together. And it was so cool. A book similar to this was This Is How It Ends, where everything takes place in 45 minutes, but you don't realize it because the book is just go, 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 and you can't put it down. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't. It was beautiful. She's amazing. And I'm pretty sure The Sun Is Also a Star won the Newbery this year. So, obviously, Nicola Yoon's a rock star, and you need to read this like yesterday. Second book I'm going to talk about. Oh, hold on. Spoilers, because I need to fangirl for a second. All right, I'm holding up The Sun Is Also a Star. And when I hold up my Kindle is when you can start paying attention if you don't want spoilers. All right, ready? Spoilers. Okay, y'all. Daniel is so cute. I could not get over how he wants her to fall so hard. And when she realizes that love is dark matter, like, oh, I loved it. It was beautiful. And then the whole, like, keeping Irene from committing suicide. So cool how all these little things happen. And it makes so much just come together. And the scene where Natasha stands up to her dad and is like, look, everything is your fault. I could not even. Like, I was like, oh, she's gonna. I couldn't. Like, it was amazing. And when Daniel fights his brother, yes, because his brother is such a douchebag. I could not. Like, I can't wrap my head around how someone can just be just plainly evil and just, ah! So I'm really glad that happened. Okay, done fangirling. I hope that y'all felt the same way. All right. This is my warning so that people can come back. So the second story I am going to share about is a super duper short story. I read it in about, I don't know, an hour. It's only 40 pages. And it was, hold on, let me pull it up. Sorry, my Kindle's running slow today. Is it going to come on? No, it's not working for me. This is what happens, guys. I'm a librarian and I can't even keep technology from failing on me. All right, cover. Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. Okay, so Rainbow Rowell wrote Fangirl, and the spin-off of Fangirl was Keep Calm. I love Rainbow Rowell. She's amazing. I'm not a fan of her other novels besides Fangirl and Keep Calm because they're not my thing. Again, I'm not a huge love story person, and she's really good at the love story, so I'm not a huge believer. I guess you could say I'm like Natasha. Anyway, Kindred Spirits is a short story that she released a few weeks ago, and all the money to it goes to a nonprofit organization. I don't remember which one. And it is the cutest short story I've ever read. It is basically every Star Wars nerd's dream short story. So it starts with the main character, Elena, is going to camp out for the new Star Wars movie. And not the most recent one, and not the one this year, but the one in 2015, episode 7. Because she is a diehard Star Wars fan. Like, her dad will not let her watch the prequels. Die hard. She's never seen the prequels. She's only seen episodes 4, 5, and 6. So she's a diehard Star Wars fan, and she never got to camp out for the original movies. Obviously, she wasn't born yet. So she has decided she's going to camp out starting Thursday night. No, Wednesday night. Maybe Tuesday night. I don't even remember, but it was super cute. She's going to camp out for the movie in line and wait with these randos, and she's going to have this great time, and it's going to be a party, and there's going to be Star Wars trivia, and they're going to get matching Star Wars tattoos and have nicknames, and then she goes to sit in line, and it's just her and this guy who's kind of a nerd that you find out later, and this weird guy, Troy, and they just kind of sit and sit. And it is not what she expected. At all. She did not think it was going to be that boring. And it's also happening in the winter up north, so not in Texas where we don't have a winter. Like, it's legit cold where she is, and so she's sleeping outside, and her mom keeps driving around and checking on her because her mom doesn't trust boys. And she's the third person in line, and there's only 3 people in line. So it's not what she expected. But it's a really short story, and it's really cute, and it took less than an hour to read. I definitely recommend it. I think it was like $2.99 on Amazon. Y'all, it goes to a good cause. Just buy it and read it. Okay, so when I hold up everything again is when the spoilers will be done for Kindred Spirits. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, bye-bye! 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 Alright, spoiler time! It was so freaking cute! I love how she meets who her friend is. Or not really her friend. Like, I felt kind of bad for her nerdy friend. I feel really bad right now because, Gabe. Gabe is his name. Because they call him Geekle. So sad. But at the same time, like, I felt the struggle for both of them. And that's why I love Rainbow Rowell. Because you can feel how the characters feel. And I feel like she and Nicola Yoon both do a really good job of that. Because there's some authors that can portray how a character feels. But you don't feel it. And I felt it. Like, I felt how she felt bad for not recognizing Gabe. And then I also felt the shame that Gabe had because he didn't want to be recognized by her. He didn't want her to call him Geekle. I totally get that. Y'all, it was so cute. I loved it. I'm totally going to recommend it to my students. And if the print version ever comes out, I would totally buy it in print and, like, give it out to my students because I love the nerdiness of it. I love the thought of how Gabe felt. He is a nerd, and that's his thing, but he can't be a nerd when everyone else is a nerd. Like, being a nerd is cool now. So now he can't be a nerd because he doesn't have a sense of belonging anymore because of all the nerdiness that's already happening. I totally felt that. But then I also understood his, like, thinking behind it, and I also felt how Elena felt. Like, she was like, but I grew up with Star Wars. Like, I am a nerd, and I have a Star Wars tattoo. But, like, she felt like this was part of her world, and I love that Star Wars is incorporating more diverse characters, because I feel like everyone now can belong in Star Wars. Like, I always loved Princess Leia because she's a girl, obviously. But now, like, we have black characters, and we have Indian characters, and we have British characters. Like, we have so many different characters going on in Star Wars now that everyone can kind of relate to it. And that's how I felt like Elena felt. Like, she felt like Star Wars was her home. And then the movie happens, and she's so exhausted from camping out for 3 days that she falls asleep in the movie. Yeah. She missed it. But she's going to get to watch it again, and so that was cool. And I totally understand how she felt, because when the last Harry Potter book came out, I camped out for the entire day. And yes, it was at Walden Books back when that was a thing. But I was so tired from sitting there and standing in line and, like, being annoyed of just being in line that by the time I got home and I swore to everyone that I was going to read that book in one night, I went to bed. I was exhausted, so I totally feel how she felt. But it was so cute, and I loved it. So, Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. Check it out. And The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. And hopefully if you were letting go, or like you weren't watching, or you had me on mute while I had spoilers, then you can come back now. And I hope y'all enjoyed my vlog for today. Say bye to Ochita. Sorry. Bye, y'all.